Hi everybody, welcome to this Wall Street News. Onsemi, an American semiconductor supplier company, announced Monday that it expects current quarter's revenue to rise 3% sequentially. The U.S. Census Bureau reported Monday that new orders for manufactured goods tumbled 4.8% in June from the previous month. The U.S. Census Bureau and the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis announced Tuesday that the international trade deficit in goods and services dropped 16% month over month. According to the S&P Global, U.S. Services Purchasing Managers Index increased 52.9 in June to 55.7 in July. AMD, an American multinational technology company, reported Tuesday after the bell that the company expects current quarter's revenue to grow 13% quarter over quarter. Skyworks Solution, an American semiconductor company, announced Tuesday after the bell that it expects current quarter's revenue to be up 5% on a quarterly basis. On Monday before the bell, an American semiconductor supplier company Onsemi announced financial results for its second quarter ended July 4th. The company reported $1,468.7 billion of revenue, up 2% sequentially above its previously estimated revenue of the midpoint of $1,415 million. Operating income was $193.4 million in Q2, up from operating loss of $573.7 million in Q1. When it comes to the guidance, the company expects its Q3 revenue to be between $1,465 million and $1,565 million, the midpoint of $1,515 million, up 3% quarter over quarter. Shares of Onsemi tumbled about 19% on Monday despite the 3% growth expectation. The U.S. Census Bureau reported Monday that new orders for manufactured goods dropped 4.8% from $642.5 billion in May to $611.7 billion in June, up 5.6% from $579.1 billion in June last year. The U.S. Census Bureau and the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis announced Tuesday that the international trade deficit in goods and services tumbled 16% from $71.7 billion in May to $60.2 billion in June. According to the S&P Global, U.S. Services Purchasing Managers Index increased from 52.9 in June to 55.7 in July, up from the preliminary estimate of 55.2. The S&P Global said, quote, new orders expanded for the 15th consecutive month in July. As was the case with activity, the rate of expansion in new business picked up in June. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, GDP now estimates U.S. real GDP growth at 2.5% for the third quarter, up from 2.1% on August 1st, updated based on the international trade deficit and the U.S. services PMIs. On Tuesday after the bell, AMD, an American multinational technology company, announced financial results for the second quarter ended June 28th. The company reported $7.7 billion of revenue for the quarter, up 3% sequentially above its previously estimated revenue of $7.4 billion. Operating loss was $134 million in Q2, down from operating income of $106 million in Q1. When it comes to the guidance, the company expects current quarter's revenue to be approximately $8.7 billion, plus or minus $300 million, up 13% quarter-over-quarter. Shares of AMD dropped about 6% in extended trading on Tuesday due to the operating loss. On Tuesday after the bell, another American semiconductor company, Skyworks Solutions, announced financial results for its fiscal third quarter ended June 27th. The company reported $965 million of revenue for the quarter, up 1% sequentially above its previously estimated revenue of the midpoint of $940 million. Operating income increased 14% from $97 million in Q2 to $111 million in Q3 on a GAAP basis. When it comes to the guidance, the company expects current quarter's revenue to be between $1 billion and $1.03 billion, the midpoint of $1,015 million, up 5% quarter-over-quarter. Skyworks Solutions stock jumped about 5% in extended trading on Tuesday. Okay, this is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.